Word, dude. Well, welcome to the Wantrepeneur show. I haven't done one of these episodes in a minute. As you probably know, I kind of just started doing this, interviewing fellow entrepreneurs to kind of hear their side of life and kind of their niche and what makes them tick. So I appreciate you being on the show, man. I know you're really big with Airbnb and doing multiple streams of income. So I guess first off, when did you start getting into entrepreneurship? Like, when did that like tick that you were like, you know what, I'm done with everything. I'm going my own way.
Yeah, so actually, I still have a 9 to 5 job. I'm a financial advisor, but I'm just big on having multiple streams of income and literally doing the most that you can. I feel like I'm at a young age. This is the prime time where I have the most energy. I don't have any kids. I don't have a wife, nothing holding me back. So I need to exhaust all avenues as possible. And when it comes to making money, I feel like as long as you're doing things productive and streams that have in the past made sense, like real estate, for example, or finances, you're just on a clear path to success. So I'm in Airbnb. I own a few properties for that. My main niche that I do, though, is asset recovery, where I assist people on filing claims for money that they literally had no idea about. And a lot of people don't know about this. So it's a niche that I kind of dominate on the YouTube space for learning. I teach people how to do it. So and I do the business myself. Like every year we do multiple six figures and just recovery alone, just helping people file these claims.
Oh yeah. Do you think it's just crazy the amount of money that's just floating out there that people can get that's just sitting on the table? Like what's
Literally
been your experience
billions.
with
Like
that?
I'm not exaggerating. Like if you Google it, there's billions of dollars in unclaimed money in America.
That's so nuts. Yeah, I saw your a video on your YouTube channels for like 57K. Was that from asset recovery? Is that what that was from?
Exactly. So in the event of a foreclosure, whether it's non-payment for taxes or non-payment for your mortgage, the county is going to hold an auction. Sometimes it's held by the sheriff and sometimes it's just held by the county, but they're going to open the auction. The starting bid is going to be whatever was owed. So let's say you own a property, you didn't pay your taxes, you owe like $12,000 in taxes. That's going to be the starting bid. But of course, the property has value. It's going to sell for a higher amount. And
Sure.
the difference between the opening bid and the closing bid is going to result in a surplus because the county legally can only keep what was owed. These banks legally can only keep what was owed. So that surplus is owed to the previous owner. And the crazy thing is the counties, they don't do a good job at reaching out at all. They send letters in the mail to the address that got foreclosed. So of course the individuals never receive the notification at all that they have this money available to them. So that's where
Right.
we step in. We're kind of like private investigators. We do research, then we have to convince them. And then I have a whole legal team. I have attorneys, and then we file the claim. And, we get paid pretty good, 15 to 30%, just for helping them out.
Nice. Is that kind of like a more of like a private contracting? Do you work for like a specific firm?
No, I have my own. So whoever does this, you can literally start your own asset recovery firm, and you're just a private contractor.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, yeah, that's definitely something I think about a lot. Is there money on the table somewhere that I can get? Like of course, every
Yeah.
one of those things.
No, I advise a lot of people just go and search on your state's database. Like if you're in Florida, it's floриdatreasuryhunt.gov. You just put in your name. And I help my boss claim money. I help my aunts, uncles, my mom. Like you'd be surprised. You might even have $100 owed to you, sometimes 1,000. Like you never know.
When did you start doing this?
I actually did this when I was playing basketball in Europe. I had a lot of free time. I just had practice and games. So I was big into trying to get into real estate, and I did not have the funds to purchase a home just yet. So I was looking up other ways. I started doing wholesaling, and then I saw not a podcast. It was a webinar on asset recovery. So then I looked into it, and then I did a few deals on my own, and I'm like, this is easy. All the information is online. It's public records. You can literally Google whatever your county's name is and put excess proceeds or surplus funds or unclaimed funds, and you'll see the list of everybody owed the money. Then I knew how to skip trace from wholesaling, got in contact with them, got them under contract, filed the claim. And after that, I was like, I have to teach people this because nobody's really teaching it on YouTube. And then after that, I came out with my online course. I started building the funds to now invest in my real estate portfolio. So then that's how Airbnb came about.
Do you feel like there's a lot of like education that has to go into like informing people about this? Is that kind of what you're doing with your YouTube channel, is try to inform people about these kind of things, that way they can actually know what you're talking about?
Exactly. So I post bi-weekly. I give people little tips and tricks on how to do the business, and, just try to bring awareness to the whole space. The business is simple. The structure is simple. You do your research, everything's public records, but it's not easy because you do have to convince people that they're owed money. They're like, what are you talking about? You're telling me I'm owed thousands of dollars? Yeah, right. How do I know this isn't a scam? So, I teach methods on, to build full transparency, have your website, use an attorney, things like that.
Is there a lot of scams in the asset recovery space?
No, it just sounds so bizarre. Like,
okay.
It just sounds crazy. You're telling me I'm owed money. Yeah, right.
Right. I mean, because I know, like, in terms of like a tight knit community of people that, it's like you need to figure out like what all that is. It kind of reminds me of like the NFT community, because it's still very small, but it's also requires a lot of education to the mass populace of people.
Yeah.
Don't know what Web3 is. They don't know what NFTs even stand for. So it's kind of like asset recovery is like you have to educate the I guess the masses of, this is something that you can do. This is something that it can be beneficial for you, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm huge on using avenues to go into other things that, if you're looking to be an entrepreneur, right? And you might want to do it through real estate. Like I wanted to do real estate, but I didn't have the funds for that. So I had to go to another avenue that was going to bring me the funds to then invest into that. So if you're starting off in entrepreneurship and you have a vision in mind, just make your plan and try to execute, but also do what it takes to get the funds to make it happen. Because if you just dream about it, think about it, and you don't have the money, you're never really going to be able to do it. So, sometimes you might have to do something that you may not really enjoy, to get some money to invest, but, whatever it takes.
So how did you go from playing basketball in Europe to doing all this now? Where was the crossroads that you were like, you know what, I'm done playing basketball, I'm doing this now?
Yeah, well, when the pandemic happened, I came back, and when I came back, because I was still doing it over there. Asset recovery, you can do this anywhere in the world. All you need is Wi-Fi, a printer, and professional on the phone. So I was doing it over there. I was making good money, but playing basketball in Europe, I was not making good money at all. That was something that was fun. My passion, basketball. If you're playing in the NBA or you're in the top league, like in Italy or Germany, or Spain, then yes, you're making maybe six figures, but in a regular these overseas guys, they're just doing it for the love. I came back from the pandemic and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go full speed. I'm going to hire a whole team and we're just going to attack every state in the nation. And, like I said, we're doing multiple six figures a year doing this. And I've taught many people who are doing this as well. They're making a killing. They've quit their jobs and just doing asset recovery full time. And, you can get one deal that you make, like that check you saw, 57,000. Like, it's out there. The money's out there.
Yeah, you said that deal took like 3 or 4 months. So this pipeline, like you got to have like business going out for quite a bit, to see. Obviously, just like everything else, you got to, be on your pipeline and because to see like it actually make results, right? It's kind of like farming. Like it's like you're farming that pipeline in the hopes that down the line it's going to produce some fruit or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And the way I look at it with asset recovery, the good thing about it is it doesn't take a lot of time. It takes about 2 to 3 hours per day. That's if you're doing all the calls yourself. Once you have a team and they're making calls for you, the paperwork is so fast. It takes less than 15 minutes to, the contracts are done. It's just pretty much input the data, submit it to the county, And after that, you just wait. So that 3 to 4 months, you're not necessarily working. You already have the client under contract and it's a legal claim. So you just wait for the judge to review, do what they do, and then they send the check. So, you just be patient, wait for the money and that in between time, build your pipeline, make more calls, get more deals, and you'll be great.
Nice, man. And you said you're doing a course on this?
Yeah, I have a course. Yeah, it's been out for a while now. Yeah.
Okay, nice. What is that on? What's that on? Is it like on like a Skillshare thing or?
Yeah, so I have my own website. It's moneymakingjuggernaut.com. I can give you the link if you want to put it. Anybody who
Yeah,
wants to do it.
no, definitely. We'll definitely drop all the links in the video afterwards.
Yeah, fully in-depth course. It's going to tell you exactly what you need to do, from researching claims, how to find individuals, what to say to them, how to find attorneys. I have a partnership opportunity. I have my mentorship as well. So it's a great community. Like I said, a lot of students that I'm teaching are, going full speed with this, and are quitting their jobs and just doing this.
Hell yeah, man. In terms of like, obviously you do a lot with multiple streams of income. I dig a lot of the videos that you post. I saw the one that you posted was like the life of a 7-figure earner or something like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's been like your what's your favorite source of income that you like working? Is asset recovery? Or is there other stuff you like?
Asset recovery is the most favorite because it's truly the business of helping people out. Like, most of these people, when they get foreclosed, they don't have anywhere to go. Like, I sometimes I contact the people and they're like, yeah, I'm still in the house. Like, the police have sent us notice. We have to get out. I have nothing to do. So it's a great business. You're really helping people. But Airbnb would be my second favorite. I just love Airbnb. I think honestly is the best business model out of any online, they have Turo. I do that as well, but Airbnb handles all marketing for you. Right. They only charge 3%. So you're getting most of your share. And everybody knows about Airbnb. Everybody's on there. You're going to get, if you have a nice property that is furnished correctly and you have nice photos and a nice title, there's no reason why your Airbnb should not be 3xing whatever your mortgage payment or rent payment is.
Right. I guess, yeah. Well, what's some advice that you could give to some people who are getting into Airbnb, they're starting out, besides just having like decent pictures and whatnot? Like, how do you stand out? Because obviously it's competitive, right? You're competing against everybody else who has a listing on there. Like, what are some things that like Airbnb people can do to stand out or make a better experience for the guests?
That would definitely come into hiring a professional photographer, because it's all of Airbnb is kind of like Tinder. So
right. Swipe left.
Swipe. They're going through. You need something attractive, appealing. You can have a great property, but if you're just taking pictures on your phone, the lighting isn't correctly, you're not going to get booked. You need eyes on that. And then also, I would recommend as a user to cut costs, hire somebody for cleaning off of Craigslist at an hourly rate, because I know a lot of hosts who are losing a big chunk of their money from their booking for cleaning. These cleaning companies are charging $125, $150 per cleaning, and that might be your nightly rate. And then you're ended up, not even making profit unless you have a long duration being booked. So I do that on Craigslist. I actually have a Airbnb group, and I told everybody about this, and they're like, wow, we never thought about that. It saved us so much, because, it only takes about 2-3 hours max to clean a home. So, you're going to save a lot of money that way.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know when I've done Airbnbs, and like, it's been like, oh, it's like $50 a night. And then it's like a $200 cleaning fee.
Exactly.
And I'm like, dude, that's crazy. Like, I'm just thinking about like from it as like a, like as like a host standpoint, is like, dude, like they're losing serious margin on that.
Exactly. That's the thing. And then I do Turo as well. My advice for anybody with Turo, because Turo is not as popular as Airbnb, so you have to build some traffic for Turo. What I've been doing is I have a website that has a link to my Turo booking, and on that website I run Google ads in my city for car rentals. So I live in Fort Myers.
Okay.
If anybody comes in to Fort Myers, I'm trying to dominate the SEO in Fort Myers for Fort Myers car rental. So when they Google this, I want to be at the top of the page, so they click on it and then boom, they can book. Because if you just rely on Turo for marketing, you might have some off weeks, or you might not make enough to where you're profiting. So that's
Hell yeah. No, yeah, I know Turo. I always use Turo now. Like, ever since I started using for the first time, I think it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I would do some. I at the time I did some car reviews. So like I would rent the car from somebody, and then I would review the car. I talk about the car specifically, and then I talk about the host. Kind of give them a shout out, kind of direct some traffic their way. But yeah, no, it's in terms of like the different kind of cars, because I'm a huge car guy. Like the amount of different cars you can get on Turo versus the cars you can get, like say at
Hertz.
yeah, Hertz, or what's the other one? I don't even know what it's called. What's like
there's so many.
Yeah.
There's Enterprise.
Yeah, Enterprise. Right, that's what I was thinking of. It's always like, oh yeah, we're gonna give you a Kia. It's like on your website you say it was a Mercedes.
Exactly.
But now it's a Kia. So I like the option that you can choose the car, and you can choose the date, you can choose the time to pick it up. Some hosts will even like bring the car to you.
Yeah.
Like say it's like at the airport, like they'll drop it
That's
off.
what I do. Yeah, just charge an additional fee for that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, because it's convenience. Obviously, you're going out of your way to give a higher customer service experience. But yeah, what kind of cars do you currently have on Turo?
I have a Porsche Cayenne, and then I have a Ford Fusion.
Nice.
So, yeah, with the Porsche Cayenne, the main reason for that, though, I actually got the car for free, and it's crazy when I tell people about this. They're like, "How the hell?"
Porsche Cayenne for free? How that?
I got the car for free. Here's why.
All right.
So I established my LLC as an S corp. So then that allowed me to defer most of my payment into my own self-directed 401k. So then I was communicating with my CPA. I'm like, man, I made a lot of money this year. I'm trying to, find ways to, deduct taxes or learn how to save on taxes, things like that. And he said, as long as you get a vehicle over 6,000 pounds, there's a certain IRS section code that will allow you to deduct up to 24,000 of the purchase price. So I was looking up vehicles that were, above 6,000 pounds. That's like Escalades, Jeeps, things like that. But the Porsche Cayenne really stood out to me. The good thing about this is you can deduct that 24,000 from taxes without buying the vehicle in full. You can finance it. So I went to the dealership. I bought it in my LLC with no money down because I have great credit and my company has, income coming in from the surplus funds from the course. So they see the income. I got approved. The payments on the Porsche are about $800 a month. So that plus insurance, about $200 a month, that's $1,000. On Turo, I'm charging anywhere from $150 to $200 a day. So
wow,
I just use that to cover the payments, and sometimes I end up still making profit. But that's essentially how I have a free Porsche.
Yeah, I used to sell cars for Audi, and we would call people like you blue chip fucking customers.
Yeah,
coming in with excellent credit, ready to buy something right there on the spot. What made you settle on Porsche over the other, I guess, German car? Obviously, you kind of shopped around, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I shopped around. It was a great deal on the Porsche, man. And then also the salesman, he was like, I was gonna get a Jeep. He was like, everybody has a Jeep. He was like, not everybody has a Porsche. So after that, I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I was on a deadline. This was like December. I had to do it by the 31st. So I went ahead with it, and it was a great decision. I think Turo, a lot of people see that the aspect of Turo, it's not something where you're going to cash flow like crazy. If you have one vehicle, you need a whole fleet if you're looking to make good cash flow. But if you're a business owner and you're trying to save on taxes like what I just said, you can deduct that 24,000 and now you have a free vehicle. Definitely go that route.
For sure. Yeah, you're talking about the salesman. That's the approach I would take, with my customers a lot of the time, because I didn't sell cars for very long, but I mean, I had like more of a low pressure sales approach. You know,
Yeah.
somebody like, I think I'm gonna go buy a Lexus, and I'm like, nah, dude. I was like,
Yeah.
it's like fucking Lexuses are for old people. I was like, you want to be like the old dude driving around in your Lexus? Like
Exactly.
I said some ballsy shit to my customers back in the day.
Yeah.
Like actually sold me cars because like a lot of salespeople they're too timid to say certain things to people. They think, oh, I don't want to lose this customer. You know what I mean? But like that's a big thing, not just in car sales, but just sales in general. People are too afraid to say what the fuck's on their mind and just cut the bullshit and just
Exactly. I
say,
think
hey,
that's
like
the abundance mindset.
exactly. You have to have an abundance mindset. It's just like for a while, I definitely thought in a different way. I thought like, oh, I have to conserve this customer. I have to save this deal. And then like I think my boss back in the day, I was selling some marketing. It's like, dude, you have to approach this like dating. Like if you're thinking like this is the only deal that I'm gonna get, you're gonna treat that deal a lot differently.
Yeah.
And if you think like in abundance of, I have so many deals that I can't even keep up with all these deals. Like I have to, give them my attention. But like if you come in way like, oh, please buy this car for me. Please buy this deal. Like,
Yeah.
what can I do for you to sign this right? It's like people are like, oh, like I don't want to buy from this dude. Like he's like nobody likes somebody who's begging. So I guess to anybody who's watching, who's in sales, definitely approach it from an abundance mindset. We can talk a little bit more about abundance mindset, but yeah, it's super important because I know you posted a video recently. I can't remember what it's called, but it starts with you, right? It's your self mindset, how you see yourself.
Yeah. You
Right.
can't outperform your own self-image, is what I say.
Right.
So
Don't compare yourself to other salespeople, other people in your industry. You just got to think about you. Like, how can you beat you from
hmm
yesterday?
hmm
Right. And if you go into that with that mindset of, I'm just trying to be better today than I was yesterday,
hmm
then you're going to be better off, especially dealing with sales situations, with dealing with dating, just dealing with people, just how you deal with yourself, how you feel about yourself at the end of the day. I know for me that definitely helped me out, especially listening to uh, people in the industry, listening to other entrepreneurs, and kind of how they think about themselves. And like one thing I found that was like very, I guess, relevant to everybody that I've talked to that is in entrepreneurship is how they perceive themselves, right?
hmm
Like how they think of themselves in their mind, because they don't care about all the noise about other people and what they think of them. They're just on their grind. They're on their
Exactly.
hustle. They're doing their own thing. People want to come along for the ride, like come on, like jump on board. But it's like, don't change your like what I'm saying. Like, don't change yourself for other people.
Exactly. Yep. And then also, I think like imagination and visions, like they're specific to you. So if you have a vision or something, you have an idea, a goal, an aspiration, you don't necessarily have to expect somebody to approve on that in order for you to take action. A lot of people, especially in the entrepreneurship realm, they might have an idea and then their friends or family members will discourage them. And it's like, that's not their vision. They don't have
Right.
it. Like, imagination, Albert Einstein said this, imagination is a preview in life of what is to come. So like, think about it like from a movie standpoint. If you watch a preview for a movie and you like it, you're going to go watch it. So it should
Right.
be the same thing. If you have an imagination and you like it, just go do it. Make that your life.
Right. Just make shit happen. Like, and that's something that I do a lot is thinking like, well, I want to do this, but like it's like you can't go in blind, right? Like if you failed to plan, you plan to fail, right? Like that's
Yeah.
the saying that I always go by. So it's like if you actually have a vision, then make it happen, but you have to like do it in tangible steps, right? A lot of the young entrepreneurs that are in my mentoring group, one of the things that I see is that they don't take tangible baby steps, right? If you
Mhm.
make it and you break it down on a fundamental level of this is how I can get to this goal, this milestone, and just keep going until you hit a bigger goal. They get so caught up and get analysis paralysis
Exactly.
I don't know how to do this. And it's like, well, break it down. Break it
Yeah.
down smaller into smaller
Yep.
goals. So that way you
Hmm.
go, okay, I'm getting closer to that larger goal that I'm trying to get to.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you do this, but I have like notebooks full and full and full. Like I have to write down a plan in order to execute. I break it down just like you said, and
Right.
then I get it done. It's simple. That simple. I get it done. And it feels good marking off your task list.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely. Do you feel like it's difficult for most people to make tangible goals? I feel like the more I'm doing consulting with entrepreneurs, I feel like that's a common thing that comes up
Well, I
is
think
they just don't know what to do.
I also think too, it's a small percentage of the individuals who are successful. So that's why it's not common for it. It's not common to be able to execute things like that because it's not common to be successful. It's common to make up excuses and be like the majority and to be normal. But if you really are all in on entrepreneurship and you want to achieve your goals, you're going to make it happen. There's really no other way to put it. Just make it happen.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you need to have a strong why.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing this? Like, I guess for you specifically, because what would you say is like your why? Like, why do you do what you do?
It's just how I grew up. I mean, right now I'm at my friend's house. This is nice, but like my parents, when I grew up, I didn't really have nothing nice, so I just always had a vision when I was growing up. I'm like, okay, whenever I get to the point where I can make money on my own, I want to make as much money as possible, live the life that I want to live. And now I'm just trying to execute. Like I said, I have no family, nothing that's holding me back. So I'm going to try everything that I can while I'm young, because I feel like a lot of people make that mistake where they're like, oh, I'm young. I don't necessarily need to figure it out now. I have time. And then you get like in your 30s, 40s, and then now you have kids and everything. And then now you can't go after your dreams. So if you're young, like just give it your all now, because what's the worst that could happen? Like,
Right.
what's the worst that could happen? I used to do, when I was playing in Europe, I would come home and I would only be home for a few months in the summer. So I used to do Uber, DoorDash, Instacart, and I used to take it serious. Like I was making $1,500 a week doing all of that. And people are like, how are you making that much money? I'm like, I'm driving all night doing this.
Hustling, man. Hustling.
Exactly. And I'm like, the worst that could happen is I'll be an Uber driver, DoorDash, making $1,500 a week. I'm cool with that. Like I can pay for rent. I can live. Like I'm fine. So once I figured that out, I was like, life is, there's really no risk.
I mean, yeah, because when it comes down to it, I mean, like just so you're saying, like, oh, like when you're young, like you have that whole vision in your head of, oh, I can figure some shit out later. But it's like, I think that everybody should strive to be a millionaire by 30.
Yeah. Oh, like, yeah. Well, yeah.
Like I'm meeting some kids that are like 21, they're getting into Web3, they're getting into crypto, they're getting into NFTs super early. They're still in high school and they're making more money than me. I'm thinking like, damn, dude, like, I mean, then again, it's like during what time I was in high school, like, I think Instagram was like just coming out. Facebook like just became a thing.
I remember senior year of high school, Instagram just came out.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, this is a totally different generation of people coming out of high school. They're not going to work at Panera. They're not going to work at Whole Foods.
This is the easiest, decade or times to make money online. I posted about this the other day. YouTube is paying. It used to be where, okay, if I want a cook show, I had to go on the Food Network or something like that. Now you can record straight from home and YouTube will pay you as if you do have your own show. They're running ads on it.
Exactly. It's like, and just some of the different things I'm seeing people do. I interviewed a kid named Carter Jameson. Shout out to Carter. He does celebrity plugs for porn stars, and the kid's still in high school. The kid's like 18 years old, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, I was baffled by this kid. He's like, oh yeah, making like millions of dollars, doing giveaways for plugs, and he's working with Lana Rhodes on her NFT project. I'm thinking like, dude, the hustle that's in the high school age now is like unfucking real. So it's like kids are hitting $1 million a year before they're even 20.
Exactly.
Like people got no excuse when they are making excuses saying like, oh, Like I came from a poor background.
Yeah.
My parents were poor. My grandparents were poor.
Mm.
And coming from a place of lack and scarcity all the
Yeah.
time, like I intentionally avoid those people because those are the naysayers that tell me you're crazy. It's not going to work.
Mm.
There's too much competition. I
Yeah.
say, fuck that shit. Like, you
Exactly.
can do whatever you want. Like, go put it out there. Like,
Yep.
just like you said earlier, what's the worst that can happen? You put something
Exactly.
out there into the world and it doesn't work. So
Yep.
then you're right back to where you were.
Yeah. I've tried
Right?
many businesses and failed. I'm telling you, I've tried so much. You just have to keep trying. It's gonna
Yeah.
work out
Yeah.
eventually.
Eventually, you're going to have something that sticks to the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone says, oh, like, doing a business, it's like 90% fail rate. It's like if that's your excuse for you not getting off your ass and going and pursuing your dream, your venture, then
Yeah.
let that be your excuse. But at the end of the day, like you're gonna regret it because you're gonna be old, you're gonna be working a 9 to 5 that you fucking hate, and you're gonna
You're
say,
gonna
man,
work
I
a nine
wish I
to
fucking
five
pursued.
that you hate. And a lot of people nowadays get happy when they make $20 an hour. I made a video on this and I really broke down $20 an hour. And
Right.
I was like, you don't even have money to get Starbucks. You don't have money to go out and get fun. Because when you really break it down, and if you're living by yourself, paying for rent, car, gas, food, necessities, $20 an hour, you're behind. You don't even have money to save and build for your future. So
Right.
like,
Yeah,
you
I
have
mean,
to do more.
when you're in your 20s, like you want to go have fun. You want to like actually do fun shit.
Yeah.
And it's like when I hear people like, oh, like I'm cool. I make like $20 an hour, and it's like, okay, but at the same like a job stands for just over broke,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're just over broke. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm not downing anybody who's in the industry of like the service industry or whatever industry that you're in. Like you are an employee, you work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm just saying like.
Do more, exactly, because I'm an employee, but I mean my financial job, that's a 6-figure job right there, and
Right.
I can promote, so I'm not gonna get rid of that. But yeah,
Yeah.
you have to do more. You have to do more.
Yeah,
You have
especially if you want to have like a cool life, like if you want to be able to enjoy your life. And I
Yeah.
guess that's where I kind of see it in my mind. It's like that's the payoff, right? You get to go and do
Yeah,
fun, cool shit whenever you want to.
exactly.
You don't have to answer to anybody. You can look at your bank account and go, "What the hell do I want to do?"
Yeah,
Like it's like some people they say, "Oh, like don't go chase the money."
yeah,
And I agree. Don't make it about the money. Make it about what you will feel
do it the
happy
money.
and fulfilled doing in your life.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I've met people who they just did it for the money.
Mm-hmm.
They got the house, they got the Lamborghini, they got all the shit that they wanted, and then they're just sitting in their fucking huge house and they go, "Well, is this it?"
Yeah,
But they don't
because
feel fulfilled afterwards. Like you actually have a purpose.
exactly. I was
want
gonna
to do.
say that. I heard this term last week. Success without fulfillment is failure. So like you have to have.
Facts.
That's why I travel a lot. I mean, like, I'm like, okay, I'm young, I'm successful. I have to travel now just so I can feel alive. Because it was times when I was in my 9 to 5, when I was doing my financing, and I would just every week go to work, come home, grind hard, go to week, come home, grind hard. And I'm like, I'm making good money, but there's no fulfillment at all. I need to travel. I need to go enjoy myself. And that's when I start really feeling alive. And then that just ties into when I travel, more content, more YouTube money. So it's just like a full circle. Once you really figure out that life's a game, it's a full circle.
Yeah, you were just in London, weren't you?
Exactly. Yeah. So I was just in London, and then I'm going to Colombia again, and then Portugal. So
Nice.
it's just gonna be a lot of traveling. Yep. Just
Is this
travel.
all just like for leisure? You did some business out there.
Well, the thing is now with YouTube, like business and leisure is the same thing, because
There
as
you
long
go.
as long as I record a vlog while I'm in London or in wherever, it's a tax write-off. So the flight is a write-off, the hotel, the meals, and I need tax deductions anyway. You can't make all this money and then, just expect to pay a lot in taxes. You want to be smart and have business expenses. And
Right.
then, like I said, when I travel, that's more views, which it comes into more ads, ran on my YouTube, which is more money. So it's just full circle. It's full circle.
Especially when you're using good credit cards for flight miles, and you're getting everything squared away, right?
Exactly. I'm talking about cash back rewards, miles, discounts on hotels, flights, car rentals. Like I don't use my debit card at all anymore. It's all credit card.
Right. Because at the end of the day, it's like you're gonna make pretty much your entire trip like free. Basically, like if you do it right, like you have to do it correctly, or you're just gonna end up, it's like, oh, I spent like $4,000, traveling, wherever the fuck, and it's like, oh, did you get a good rewards miles card? Did you do tax write-offs? Like,
Exactly.
do you have a lot of content about how to utilize travel and all that?
Actually, I don't. I need to start coming out with more content in that.
Definitely do.
Yeah. I should start pushing more of that. Yeah, I mean, just like how I got the Porsche, how I got that for free. I broke it down like 60 seconds on TikTok. It got a lot of views, but I should probably go into detail on that.
For sure. There was something I was going to ask you. Oh yeah. So, I guess what other niches have you dabbled into? So you got asset recovery, you got Turo, you got Airbnb. What other stuff? Are you dabbling with any sort of stocks, crypto, NFTs, anything like that?
Honestly, I know NFT is non-fungible token, right?
Right. Yeah.
I see people making money, but I honestly don't even understand it. So that's why I haven't invested into it. My best friend from high school, he's a developer. So we've made a tech company that has been absolutely killing it. We have an online menu service, and then we also have a event space. So kind of like Tixer, we have that as well. And then I'm partnered up with a company that does research and development for people who are looking to do Airbnb short-term rentals through corporate lease. So we have all the database where we go through, we do research on, apartment complexes, condos that allow corporate leasing. And then we have all the database done for you. So you just, you pay for the service, and then you literally just select what city and what complex, and then boom, now you got an Airbnb going.
Nice. I mean, I know that's definitely something I want to get involved in the future. That's definitely something we can talk about one-on-one. Because I know for me, it's like having multiple sources of income, like why not? When people say, oh, like, you keep your income options open, I'm always open to hearing what they have to say. Doesn't mean I'm going to say yes.
Exactly.
A lot of times it's like,
well, it depends if you have time for it. That's
right. Yeah. See, and like that's what I wanted to touch on is getting into businesses and getting into ventures that take less of your time.
Yeah, I'm huge in automation. Yeah.
Right. It's like if you're getting into stuff and you feel like your business is an absolute fucking headache, maybe you got to rethink it. Like if it's taking your days and nights, and people say, oh, like, it's like you got like Gary Vaynerchuk, who's like hustle. And it's like, I respect people who hustle, but the goal should not be to hustle. It should be to have it pay off to where you don't have to hustle at all anymore. It pays you, right?
Yeah.
Like, easy businesses that make you passive income, Airbnb, Turo, a lot of these things. I didn't get into NFTs until August of last year. I knew nothing about it. I had somebody hit me up. They said, hey, like, go check out a Bored Ape Yacht Club. Go check out CryptoPunks and all these. Like, they're obviously like number one now. I guess before I jump into NFTs, did you see ApeCoin? Are you familiar with ApeCoin?
No.
All right, I'm going to jump into that in a second. But where I didn't see the value of NFTs, right? Because everyone says, okay, so I can screenshot this fucking picture. I can right-click save this shit. What's the point? And I thought the same thing. I was like, how are you going to have value on a picture? And then I found out it's utility. Not just utility, it's community, right? The reason why the Bored Ape Yacht Club is sold out and increasingly is like 93 Ethereum right now. It's like maybe 200 grand for the minimum price is because of, you have to think about it like a neighborhood, right? Just to break it down on like a really basic level. Like Justin Bieber owns it, a Bored Ape. Kevin Hart,
Tiger. Yep.
Mark Cuban, Eminem, like
Yep.
all like the
So you're a
A-listers.
part of that. You feel like you're a part of that community.
Right, like you're a part of that community now. It's like
And you're authenticated because you have the actual NFT, not a screenshot.
right. It's like you are immersed in that. So when they're doing yacht parties, they're doing these cool things.
Oh, they're actually doing community events, and if you have
right,
that, you're welcome.
exactly.
Wow.
It's like you're in the club.
That's like a ticket, basically. Exactly.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
So
You just broke it down in a simple matter that actually makes me want to invest in NFTs now, because before I just same thing. I can screenshot, I can right click. Yeah.
right, because I mean it's like you can right click save it all you want.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're not gonna be sitting next to Mark Cuban or Eminem chilling on like a boat somewhere, because
Exactly.
you're not gonna know what's like, it's like their Discord is so private and so discreet that it's like that's what the intrigue is like the exclusivity behind it. Like, so for my NFT project that I'm doing, for example, we're supporting a nonprofit called DC Books to Prisons.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what they do is provide reading material to people who are incarcerated from marijuana, or other things as well. But that's the ones I'm mainly focusing on. Giving some stoners behind bars some good reading material. So we're only doing 420 NFTs. So it's like, compared to Bored Ape, they got 10,000 NFTs. So this is very, very local. It's very small. But at the same time, it's more of the tight-knit influencers and people inside the cannabis I-71 space that live in DC, and of course, the surrounding areas. But so like that's basically the utility. Like you're going to get access to, discounts on weed delivery. Because it's like if you're an NFT holder, like that's how you're going to be able to validate that. And so that's basically what I was coming down to, was just explaining like why it's important and like
love it,
like how the utility of it actually makes sense. I know Gary Vaynerchuk, like he of course talks about NFTs all the time on his channels, but at the same time, people are still confused. They're like, why is a picture worth any value? You get to break down. It's not just the picture; it's what the picture will give you in terms of benefits, community, and whatnot.
Makes sense now. Makes sense.
Yeah. Have you done anything with crypto though, at all?
Yeah, well, I bought Safe Moon.
Safe Moon.
Safe Moon is so low right now. I'm huge on Ripple. I'm big on Ripple. I think Ripple is going to go up just because I saw Bank of America, Bill Gates. I'm like, anytime Bank of America or Bill Gates is behind something, they, it's definitely going to shoot up. So I'm just waiting on that to erupt. And then after that, that's pretty much it. I only invest in things that I understand. So that's about it. For sure.
Yeah, no, that kind of brings me back to ApeCoin. So the Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is the #1 NFT that's traded right now, created their own cryptocurrency called ApeCoin. It went from $1, now it's sitting at $15 right now. And that was just in a matter of like 48 hours. So if there's any tip that I can give you on what to buy in that's going to probably go to the fucking moon, I'd recommend that one. I mean, I think it's definitely going to go higher than that, because they're going to be utilizing this for NFT games, pretty much all transactions that are going to be happening within their own ecosystem. It's going to be huge, but I mean, that's definitely one that I'll leave with you.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you wanted to kind of drop, in terms of what you got going on before we wrap up today?
Yeah, I'm actually working on my book right now. It's called 101 Ways to Do More. And it's just my story, how I went from 36,000 to over 360,000 in 1 year, just by doing more, having multiple streams of income, having the mindset to, do anything and everything possible. And it's going to be a great read. And then it's going to give you literally 101 ways to do more. And when I'm pushing the book, I'm going to pick 25 people out of the year, and I'm going to fly wherever you are. I'm going to come to you, and I'm going to spend 2 to 3 days, and we're going to outline, a plan for you, a vision, and have you execute. Because like we were talking about, that's what people struggle with. They struggle with execution and having a plan, things like that. So I'm going to give them motivation, come up with a plan, and really identify, why they aren't successful right now, and then areas that they can be successful. People come to me all the time and they're always like, I want to make money, I want to do this. And then, I talk to them, identify their skills, and then I give them recommendations. Majority of the time, I just tell them, hey, push content, find a way to push content, because now you literally get paid for attention. So it's going to be a great read. It'll be hopefully done by this summer.
Are you doing an Audible version as well, or are you just doing paperback?
Yeah. Yep, it'll be an Audible version as well. Yeah.
Nice. Are you narrating
I'm working
yourself
on that book, and then I have a children's book. Connection is unstable. Okay. That book, that one is going to be my personal book, but then I also have a children's book called Be Inspirational, and it's going to be a kid's book about a small bee, and it's just telling kids that if you lock in, you focus, you can be intelligent, because I feel like a lot of kids that are labeled as stupid or dumb or unintelligent just are not focused. They're not really locked in school. So the book is just going to be for motivation and teaching kids that they can achieve things if they just, take it serious. But that's a kid's book, it's for like ages 4 to 8. So
sure. Awesome, man. Well, yeah, we'll definitely drop all the links on the post, and I really want to thank you for taking time to join. I know we definitely bounced back and forth a few times to get this scheduled in, but I'm glad we found some time, and it's good to finally chat with you and meet you, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you.
All right, man. I'll catch you later.